Hello. I started to say good morning, but I realize it may not be morning when you watch this. I always do that. Anyway, I'm having my cup of coffee, so you're having a cup of coffee with me, or I'm having a cup of coffee with you. And I'm coming to you today about desire. That's a juicy topic in a lot of ways. And this is based on a Buddhist philosophy about attachments, right? And one of the tenets of Buddhism, if I'm not incorrect, is that it's our attachments that cause us pain, right? Now, what does that mean, right? I think for a lot of people, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm going to change the word. Instead of attachment, let's call it desire, right? Now, there's a real easy version of this to understand and to see, right? If you desire to have things that you don't have, whether it be money, a certain house, a certain car, a certain relationship, clothes, jewelry, stuff, status, power, that's easy, right? That's fairly easy to see, right? If I am attached to status, if I am attached to money, if I desire money, if I desire a certain car, if I desire a certain job, if I desire a certain lifestyle, let's say, that I don't have, then I am going to be unhappy because I don't have it, right? So then you might do work to figure out what it is about that desire. Why do you have that desire? Were you deprived of something in childhood? Were you taught something? Is it the culture? What is it that is causing you to be attached to this idea, to desire something that you don't have? Now, here's a slightly more subtle version of it, right? What if your desires are wrapped up in your identity, right? What if, for instance, you have a desire to be seen as a good mother, a good father, a good friend? What if you have a desire to be seen as competent, as helpful, as good, as secure, right? What if you have a desire to be a certain way, to seem a certain way to other people in any of those forms that I just mentioned and any others that you can think of? That desire is a little bit more subtle. And another big one for a lot of people too is a desire, say, to have a child. Now, what's the problem with desire? What's the problem with a lot of people would say, hey, it's good to have goals, right? Yeah, it's good to have goals. It's good to be thinking about, where you want to be and who you want to be and what that's going to look like. Absolutely. The problem is when you want it a little too much. And the problem is that you become blinded, right? That if you have this intense desire for something, right, whether it's to appear in a certain way or to have certain things, you get blinders. You stop seeing the forest for the trees. You are focused on a tree, right? And you're not seeing all the possibilities out there. You're not seeing how this sort of pursuit, this intense attachment, this intense desire to have something that you don't have is causing you pain, because maybe it's causing you to feel shame, right? If you don't feel like you're living up to that standard. So let's just take being a good mom, right? So if you don't feel like you're living up to that desire, right, then you may feel shame and you may not want to tell people things, right? Or you may feel, shame, slightly close to it. You may feel like you failed, right? You want to be seen as a good partner, So again, you may feel like you failed. You may feel, and that's just one example. And please understand that you can extrapolate this to like anything and sort of see the road, right? When you have a strong desire, when you get those blinders on, when you get so focused on something, and if you don't achieve it for some reason, or if it doesn't come to you as fast as you think it should, or if you fail, you're going to feel really bad about that, right? you're going to start to feel like maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe I'm not worthy, right? That's going to bring up all that stuff. Now, the good thing about that stuff coming up is that you can use that as a sign to say, what is it that I have such a strong attachment to that I'm not seeing everything else, right? It could be a situation where you have such a strong desire to not be alone. And this is not an example from my personal life. This is, general. That you have such a strong desire to not be alone that you're with a partner who's not good for you, right? That you're with a partner who, for whatever reason, just isn't good for you, doesn't celebrate you, doesn't make you feel safe, doesn't make you feel seen, but you're or just doesn't have the same interests and doesn't align with you, right? But you're so desperate not to be alone. Your desire is to have a partner, so you will accept one that isn't good for you, right? And that does not enhance your being or help you to be a better person or grow or even just feel loved, right? So that's really, I think that's enough examples. I just wanted to bring that up as food for thought about, what desire is, i.e. where attachment is. Start looking for that in your life. Where are you so focused that you're putting blinders on and you're not seeing the joy, you're not feeling the joy, you're not finding the things that you want. I mean, another one might be, it just popped into my head, this desire that, and again, this is also about putting off happiness too, right? This idea that like, I'm going to do everything I can so that I have the perfect retirement, so that when I'm 65 and I retire, I'm going to have fun. And so you don't have any fun before 65. Well, it's possible you might not make it to 65, I hate to tell you. And if you do, I mean, most of us probably will. But when you get to 65 and you retire, maybe it's going to be harder to do all these things that you think are fun or that would make you happy, right? So my suggestion is, and I'm not saying don't do what you need to do to save up for retirement or whatever, but have some fun, right? Don't be so focused on one thing that you're forgetting to enjoy the moment, that you're forgetting to enjoy where you are right now, and to be grateful for the things that you do have, right? Because that's where desire trips us up, right? And I'm not saying desire is a bad thing. I'm saying it can be a dangerous thing. So pay attention, see where you may have desires that may be tripping you up and blocking your joy, right? Okay, so that's what I have for you today, and I'm toasting you with my coffee, and I think actually this mug came from Sean Patrick. Anyway, big kisses, love you all. Hope you have a great day, and pay attention.